Hey y'all, what's up? I thought I was going to have my hair done today. Hey y'all, what's up? My hair looks a mess, like I said. I thought I was gonna have time to do my hair today, but that did not happen. My baby gets random migraines, as some of you guys may know. They're called abdominal migraines. They randomly come on, and when he gets them, he throws up at least 2 or 3 times. So did it last night. Woke up in the middle of sleep, did it again. Did it twice this morning. Then I had to go out and make sure he ate. And then he got braces 2 days ago. So his teeth were hurting. He was mad. And then that caused him not to eat, which if he doesn't eat and stay hydrated can cause his migraines too. So that's the whole thing. So y'all forgive me, okay? Anyways, I it felt like, I don't know, I think that's because I'm used to wrestle. I've been used to these 4-hour PLEs this whole entire weekend. That Smackdown seemed short. Like it seemed less than 2 hours. Speaking of Smackdown, I didn't know that their contract ended with Fox and that they was going to USA. I just found that out today. Like I remember, I think Triple H was saying that Raw was going to Netflix, which I was excited about because I was like, now I can watch SmackDown on Fox and I already got Netflix. I don't have to get cable. And then NXT was going to CW, which I think NWA is a CW too. But if SmackDown is going to USA, then I'm like, I'm back in the same boat. So now I gotta switch. I can watch Raw live, but then I can't watch SmackDown live, and I have to watch that on Saturday on Hulu. The only good thing about that is if they keep it 2 hours, with Hulu only giving WWE, if they extend that contract, an hour and a half, then if you count out the commercials, it's the same time. But if they extend it during between like the Rumble and WrestleMania to like 2.5, 3 hours to get the storylines and all the promos in, then that's gonna be a problem. Anyways, it started out with Cody. Yeah, it started out with Cody. And I love that he shouted out his wife. He said, "Who the hell told you it was open mic nights?" And everybody knows that was watching it. Like, that's the one thing that you know from Brandy when she was talking to Jade. So when he said, he was like, sorry for cussing. It's like, you know, the kid in church that be trying to cuss sometimes, but they know it don't sound right, like from coming from them, they feel convicted after saying it. Or even if you don't go to church, like your parents put the fear of God in you if you cuss, and you actually did it, even though you might be grown or a teenager, and you still got the fear of God. So you like, that's exactly how he was, and he took it back. So when shout out to Mike, because I love when he announces Cody Rhodes. He wasn't there the whole PLE, but it was nice to hear his voice. It was, yeah, so when he introduced himself, he's like, my name is, I was like, his introduction gives me like Paul Heyman mixed with Seth Rollins, which I'm not mad at. So then after that happened, they went backstage. They went backstage. So then KO goes into the locker room, and the Bloodline tries to go in the locker room. So KO was like, He was like, this not for you. He was like, there's a broom closet down the hall. I said, not a broom closet. Like, not a broom closet, KO. And then they looking. And then Solo was like, I'm going to handle this tonight. Like, you want me to handle this with KO? So I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus, here we go. I was like, how? If KO got a match tonight? So then, it was the first match. It was Santos versus, I can't remember already. Like, my brain is foggy. I haven't really ate. So Santos Bobby and excuse me. Oh, LA Knight. That's right. Because I remember his gear, and I was like, I just remember his gear, and I was like, oh God, like Santos got his work cut out for him, because I don't know what's been going on with AJ in LA this past couple weeks. Like, AJ's been super buff since he came back from when he got slammed by Solo. But as of recent, LA looked bigger too. So I was like, I don't know if it might be him on my TV, or it might just be both. Okay, because I don't remember him being that big. So y'all know I like to try to tweet and watch, and sometimes I miss a couple things. So I remember tweeting, and then I remember looking up, and I saw Santos stand on the outside of the ring, and then Bobby and LA laying down. I was like, wait, how's he the last person standing? Then it went to commercial, came back. So then, who was it? I don't know how LA ended up outside of the ring, and it ended up just being Bobby and AJ. Not AJ. Bobby and Santos, my eye is burning. Sorry. And it just ended up being them two. And yeah. So it ended up being them two. I think Bobby was getting like Santos really well and stuff with his moves, and then he got attacked by the rest of Legado del Fantasma. So then the Street Profits come out, right? So Street Profits attack them, counterattack, and then Montez jumps. What happened? Montez is about to jump out of the ring. Before he does that, Elektra comes in the face, and I'm so used to LWO versus Legado del Fantasma that I forgot. Like, I was like, ooh, Zelina's about to come out. Forgetting that they got their own wrecking woman, okay? BFF came and stomped the girl out, whatever. Then Montez comes out and does his thing outside of the ring. The crazy part with that is when I was watching the pivot, and he was like, he does the frog splash as his last move because he's scared of heights. And that fascinates me, because I'm like, now I don't watch these things on YouTube, okay? Not just the matches, but like when they be in different countries. And I think last year, what was they at? Dubai or Saudi or something like that. And they was in some like glass building looking over it into like the entire city. And he wasn't the one that was scared, because I think they was with Mustafa. He wasn't the one who was scared. It was Bianca. So I was like, you can't even tell if you got a height issue that you're scared of heights. But I know sometimes it depends on where you're at and what you're doing, because I have that same thing. You know, like I'll get on a plane, no problem. Ride a roller coaster, no problem. When I went to the Eiffel Tower in Vegas, scared out of my mind, and we're behind a fence. The wind is blowing. Not walking across no tall bridge, cross no bridge with traffic. Like, you know, they got the sidewalks. First of all, people can't drive. Second of all, I'm be afraid that the wind gonna blow me somewhere. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, that whole look out in the glass, look over, I'm not doing that either. Like, so I get it. Like, certain stuff. Like, I legit, my son and I last year went to the fair. I bought tickets to the big, huge Ferris wheel, and had to like slowly breathe and look out, because I was terrified. And I'm in the thing with, it's me, my son, and 4 other people. I was terrified, but once I saw, I was like, okay. But you gotta overcome certain stuff like that. Like you just gotta do it. Do it scared, like I tell my son. So he's fearless, and if he isn't, I wouldn't be able to know any different. Well, would, but nobody else would be able to know any different. Because if you don't, you're gonna have regrets. And that's what I tell him. If somebody ever like, do it scared, I'd rather you do it scared and say, okay, I tried my best, it didn't turn out well, or I didn't make the team or whatever, and you don't have a regret versus you not doing it because you're scared, and then you regret it later on, because growth comes when you're uncomfortable and when you're a little scared. So you got to push through. And so he follows my advice well. But anyways, when I saw him do the ring whole situation, Montez, I was like, this is why he needs to have a title match with Logan. Like, Logan did the thing with Roman, okay? Logan did his thing with The Miz. Logan did his thing with KO and Randy. Like, Logan been in the EC match. Logan has fought with Ricochet because he said he wanted to fight like the best in the business, the high flyer or whatever. I was like, now you need the KOTS. No, KOTFS. And when I first saw the back of his jacket from his gear, I thought it meant King of the effing South. Because even though he's like Chicago, I know he spent a lot of his life in North Carolina. So that's what I thought it meant. I didn't even put two and two together that it meant King of the Frog Splash. And I was like, until somebody said that, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, I be slow sometimes. But the acronym can mean both for real. Because I don't think nobody in wrestling is claiming that. Like, the only person I know that's claiming that's not even a wrestler, and that's T.I. And he don't even really rap no more for real. So, like to... That was my water that I bought. But yeah, so I would love to see that match. I'd love to see how far they could push each other in the ring and all of that. And I would love to see them have a shot at a singles title. Not negating that him and Dawkins should still have the shot at a tag team title. But we've been waiting for Montez to have a singles title match. I'm just saying, not just me. Okay. So then, so then after that, AOP leaves, they all do their thing or whatever. Bobby comes full-fledged at, was it Santos or was it LA Knight, to do a spear and hit the ramp. And I said, I know that hurt. First you could hear it like that. But I'm like, he's full speed. He's big as hell. Like, if he ain't catch it, I know it tore his shoulder up. Okay. So, like, and so LA ended up getting the win, which that was a pretty good match. For a second, it made me think that Legado del Fantasma could start a beef with the Pride. I'm calling him that because when they get introduced, like when he came out, it was Bobby with the Street Profits and B-Fab, and that's how they was introduced at WrestleMania. But when they put stuff up on the YouTube, it say the Pride. So I'm calling the Pride. If not, they're gonna be called Bobby and them, because I'm not saying all them names and syllables. Like that not doing that. So it could be like, if that whole thing with the Pride versus the Final Testament is done with, they could do the Pride versus Legado del Fantasma. Okay. So then after that, it was Solo come out. I remember that after that, because his music dropped and that bass go hard. So I always end up moving. Always in a swing. So he come out, and I've been saying for a while, I was like, so when we gonna get Vegas NXT Solo with the promos, with the wrestling moves, with the fights? Because if for y'all that's been watching him since he came into WWE NXT, y'all know he can do a good promo. Well, if y'all, some of y'all be judgmental, so it probably won't be good to y'all. Some of y'all be like, oh, it's decent, but a good promo. So I was like, for him to been standing there for like almost 2 years and not say nothing and just be, and then say 1 or 2 words, I'm like, dude, like, I want to hear how we go from full-fledged talking, beefing with Carmelos and not saying anything. Like, the character, that part of the character to me didn't make sense. Didn't make sense at all. And I know, like, with bodyguards and stuff, when you show them, they don't really talk a lot. So in that sense, it does. But, like, for me, I'm like, you went from doing this and popping off and being real great to not saying anything. Just being there, being a muscle. I don't know. But he came out and Paul was talking about we take accountability on the island of relevancy, and I was confused because I was like, well, since when do y'all do that? Because when Jimmy and Jay versus Solo and Roman, and Jimmy was calling out Roman for being a bow, he didn't take accountability then. So I'm like, when we start doing that? Like, that was my first thought. Second thought was, are we really still calling him the Tribal Chief and he lost? Like, does he get a new name? You know what I'm saying? Because I think because he held the belt the longest, he could still be. Because I think at one point in time, he was like, you take this off of me, you could be the Tribal Chief. Or if you win, you could be the Tribal Chief when he was talking to Jade. So I'm like, so what are you? So then he brought up Seth. And I was doing this kudos to Seth. And I was like, Seth is the GOAT. And he was like, for the Seth got distracted, stuff like that. I said, for that still to me, that is the most important part of the story that happened this past couple months. And he said, like, Paul was like, Seth kept his word and was his shield. Ended up doing it, and he blanked his mind because 10 years ago. And I said, it has been 10 years. I said, now, I know I won't watch it 10 years ago because I was confused on X. But I know the history of the Shield, okay? I know when they first came out because I was watching. And then I stopped watching a little after Edge had announced his retirement, okay, in 2011. And then I think I started back watching right after they separated, because I was trying to figure out why the three of them weren't together no more. Like, I was confused. Then I stopped. And I haven't watched since, okay? So for me, when somebody was like, it goes back to Royal Rumble 2022, the beef. And I was like, no. I know I ain't been watching, but it's been going back since 2014. Like, what is y'all talking about? Like, I mean, I feel like if you're a wrestling journalist or have these podcasts and stuff like that, before you have certain quotes and stuff, facts, either get the facts straight or be like, or if I say stuff, I'll be like, nah, I don't know if this is true or not. Like, give a disclaimer before you say it. Because I'm like, y'all just be on here wrong and loud and then don't correct yourself. Because I was like, it started in 2022 when it happened. I was like, it really started, and I responded, it really started in 2014 when he hit him with that chair. Like, what? Okay. And I was like, and then if you go on the YouTube, it has like the history of the Shield. It's been showing since they did the WrestleMania kickoff. Like, you know, with the bloodline stuff, the last 2 years, it was like the history of bloodline. So like all the parts that happened during the pandemic, for the history of the bloodline, I saw. So of course, my son, when they do the history of like Jay, you had to sit for 2 hours and watch it, even though it's a lot of the same stuff. Some of the stuff that was in Jay's story wasn't in the bloodline story. So I was like, oh, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like we watched the history of the Shield and stuff like that. Me and him, the earlier one from like 2 years ago. I didn't watch the recent one because I'm like, outside of Roman and Seth, if they're showing clips of them doing their own thing on separate brands, I don't really need to see that because I basically know what happened after that. But yeah, so he was like, he took his mind, he was like, and he thought about all the betrayal and stuff festering. I was like, that's 10 years of betrayal. 10 years you just festering in it. And he's like, and he lost. And Cody was on his P's and Q's, and he kept bringing up Cody, and Solo made a face. I said, ooh. I said, because he like, and making a face, and I said, he about to do something or say something. Took the mic and was basically paraphrasing was like, he lost, okay? He not the tribal chief no more. That's what I got from it. Like, we talking about tribal chief and we gonna come rise back from the Phoenix. You back at ground zero. You still a GOAT, you know what I'm saying? But you ain't got no clout and stuff like that no more in the bloodline because you don't hold nothing. That's basically what Solo was saying. So he was like, we gonna take accountability. And he turned to Jimmy. And my first thought was like, I know you're not about to blame Jimmy for this loss, dog. Like, you wasn't there at the final match and got messed up by Cena too. Like, if we gonna do that, do all of it. So then he hugged Jimmy and was like, you are my brother. And at first I was like, oh, that's nice. Then I was like, no. The last time he said that, he spiked him. Soon as he said that, somebody come out with a black did he spike him first? I can't remember. I think he spiked him first. I can't remember. Then somebody came out and dragged him with a all black on. So, at first I thought it was Jay, and then I was like, no, because why would Jay be randomly back in the bloodline? So then when he took off his stuff, I screamed. I was like, that was like, it's Tamatonga. And my son is like, who is that? My son, I was like, oh my God. So, of course, they get him and then they do him with the chair and all that other stuff. And shout out to Rikishi because they, he backs it up or whatever. And then Paul looks scared for his life, as she should be. And they all walk. He stomps on the phone. That's why I was like, okay, so he ain't following Roman at all. Because my first thought was, okay, they lost. Solo been down the ride for you. But that's because you were winning. You lost now, so what can you tell him? Like, if anything, if we gonna go that route, you know what I'm saying? Solo never lost his championship from a loss. He lost it because he was on Smackdown and he was in NXT. Dang, what was the name of that title again? Like, he had an NXT championship. And he was on Smackdown. And they basically made him give it back because they was like, it was on another brand, which pissed me off because I'm like, y'all made him give it back. But had Dom hold it. I'm still pissed off about that. Had Dom hold it for a while. And then he was going back and forth from NXT, to every brand. I was like, did y'all give Solo that option before y'all took that man title? Like, and then I think Dragonuv was the title, won that title at one point in time. And y'all let him come on, was it Raw? I think Smackdown and NXT. So I was like, if we gonna be like that, then technically Solo is still the only title holder out of the group, technically. So they go off or whatever. And then some people are surprised. Some people are upset. Some people are confused. Because someone was like, said something about Solo and, because Solo was, someone was like, Solo about to be a problem. Y'all know that's his name. His nickname is he's the problem. Before he was the enforcer, he was the problem because his favorite athlete is AI, like a lot of us, and AI was the answer. So he's the counter. He's the problem. And I was like, okay. I said, because I've been saying for 6 months that we need the Vegas NXT Solo back with the promos and all that other stuff. And I was like, but it's very strategic of like Roman and them to do all of this steps to put Solo on like he did the Usos. Like this is all to put. Yeah, like we know Solo, but a lot of people don't know Solo. Because sadly, a lot of people don't watch NXT. They only watch SmackDown and Raw. Like they didn't know who he was before he was at Clash at the Castle 2 years ago. Like they didn't know him. So they don't know what he was like prior to. They just know him as the Enforcer. But I want the Problem Solo back. And hopefully with him being like this is what we get. Problem Solo 2.0. Okay. So yeah, so all that happens, and then Bailey comes out. First of all, Bailey looks great. Okay. And I was like, I can't even say I was gonna say them hips were hipping. But so then she was saying her thank yous and stuff like that. The title looks good on her. Her makeup looks great. Her hair looks phenomenal. Actually, and also honestly, the Pride looked great too. Who else looked great? I like LA's gear. That was the gear he had at one of the show the night I think at WrestleMania, but I still like it. Like, because he normally wears, I think he either wears black and then sometimes he'll wear like gray and green, but I don't think I've seen him in like a maroon burgundy, but it looks good on him. Of course, I like the No Yeet shirt in black. I'm still mad that came out second, so now I gotta buy one of them. Like, the strategic, like y'all look good, cause I'm part of me is like I don't even want to buy it. I'll just keep my red shirt with my black shorts, and then part of me's like I'm gonna get that shirt and wear it with some jean color shorts. But speaking of gear, it's funny that Jay got them glasses on sale. Because I remember watching, was it last year? Up, Up, Down, Down. He first wore some glasses like that. And they were clowning him about them glasses. And now it's like a worldwide phenomenon. And then the fact that he put Yeet on it like he's Soulja Boy. And for the people that watch that don't know who Soulja Boy, look up, what was the name of that song? It was Superman? Crank That. Crank That. He puts, I think, Crank That or Soulja Boy on his glasses. Jay bringing it back. I'm like, y'all, I was like, that's hilarious. But it also goes to show you how much one person can change the culture of something, because that's the same thing like with Pharrell and that Arby's hat he wore, and y'all was clowning him, and then every celebrity that was seen on TV had one of them hats. Y'all know daggone well that hat wasn't cute on some of y'all, and y'all still wore it, just like the daggone Ronald McDonald shoes that came out last year. Like whatever they think, because first they make fun of you. That's how they go. First they make fun of you, talk about you. Then they either cheering for you or following you. That's normally how it goes, because society is weird. But yeah, so yeah, 2.0. I'm waiting for the 2.0 of him. And so then yeah, Billy comes out. I gotta see what kind of new gear she got. I know I saw the shirt last year, a couple weeks ago, to say I told y'all. I might get that jump. But she came out looking great. Doing her name was like, you deserve it. And she was like, I can't. And I think Wade or Corey was like, this is the first time in a while we've gotten face Bailey. So we call it, I don't know what we're calling it. I call it the cinema era. People call it the Paul era. For that could be Paul Heyman and Paul Triple H Paul, both Pauls. Or the Triple H era. But I will say this is definitely the transparency era. The era where it's blurred lines with K-fob and reality. The era where we know more about, we say terms out loud that we would never have said in the past. Like when one of the commentators tonight said this is the first time we had face Bailey in a while. Like nobody knew what that was, not unless you was really, really into wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Or like when Pat was like, "That's a good promo," or something like that. You know, like we. Or how celebs be like, "This is my dream match," and then you look at stuff from like their vlogs on behind the scenes, they're sitting together, but out on the thing they're beefing, and they're talking about like how they still interact. Which now with social media is hard to kind of do because like a lot of them have like TikToks and stuff they do together. But I'm like, growing up, we didn't have that. So like, if we hated somebody from WWF, WCW, ECW, we hated them for real. Like, especially if you was little, we didn't know that they was like, this was, you know, part of their job. Like, they made us believe it. But I kind of think it's better this way because it humanizes each person even more. Like when Rhea talked about her panic attacks and stuff like that, it also reminds people to be aware that these are people too. They're just doing their job. This is not who they really are, and they're trying to make a living for them and their family, and then go home like we are. You know what I'm saying? Because like back in the day, if we would have had some of this stuff, people would have been cussing people out. I hate you, and then you got some weird people that still do that. Like they can't decipher some of it, and then certain other people are neurodivergent, autism, ADHD, PTSD, stuff like that. It's hard for them sometimes, a lot of times, to determine certain stuff. You have to literally tell them. So like, I'm not faulting them, but the people that know the difference and still are jerks to people, like, I don't know. And then it's the people that be like, y'all still watch wrestling? And somebody on social media was like, I don't listen to nobody that asks me that when y'all watch reality shows. I said, okay. Because if anything, the first season or two might be kind of real on a reality show. But after that, you just making stuff up at that point. Like, you just as bad as watching. I might as well watch a soap opera or watch wrestling or something. At least I'm getting thoroughly entertained. And it's a non-stop entertainment. We're bringing in non-stop people. In reality shows, after a while, it's the same people. You're arguing about the same stuff. It's been 10 years. Still arguing about the same, like, like, don't come full of wrestling fans, okay? But, so she came out, and then when she had announced, she was like, I was going to announce, and then Tiff came out, and I was like, I forgot about her. And the crazy thing is, a lot of stuff has happened in the past week that I forgot, but I didn't forget because I was watching something that showed, like, she switched from Tiffany to herself, like, in between in the interview. She was like, I should be on WrestleMania. Then it clicked, like, the switchover happened. She was like, I understand now I'm not at WrestleMania. This is my first year. And I said, okay. Another person that does that during their interviews is Roman. Not the last one, though. But, like, not the one from WrestleMania, but, like, in his previous PLEs, you could see the switch transition from Roman to Joe when he does his interviews. But, yeah, so, like, I was like, oh, she coming out here looking like Clueless. I was like, she cute or whatever. So she came out here talking to Bailey. And as soon as she said, I was going to say Naomi came out. She looked phenomenal. The leg warmer things, they were cute. And orange is my third favorite color. They're bright orange after lime green and black. I want to know, are they hot on the inside too when you put them on? Or is it like thin, like wearing an arm sleeve, and then it's just fur around it? Like, do your legs be hot? Like, that's what I want to know. And now I gotta relook at her gear from WrestleMania, because I don't think she had none on WrestleMania. And if it does keep your legs warm, I definitely would have wore that, because I know it was cold as hell that first day. You could hear the wind. Okay, like, I don't know. Let me put my glasses back on because I can't see nothing. But yeah, so she comes out, And she was like, well, Tiffany, basically, since you ain't got no clue. I said, okay. Because she do look like Cher from Clueless. And she was like, we gonna go wrestle. We gonna wrestle. So they cut her off, and then they go to the wrestling, of course, then wrestling. They went to like 3 commercials. So she got a pretty good long match, which I'm thankful for, because a lot of times, like, especially during the WrestleMania season, her match has been cut, and I know some other matches have been cut because of the promos of Roman, Roxanne, and Cody. And Rock always takes a long time, because I was just watching Raw earlier today before I fell asleep and woke up and watched Smackdown. And so they were wrestling, and I was like, does she do that, the butt wiggle thing instead of the rear view now? Like, I just wanted to know. Not like I'm playing words, because I was like, she ain't done a rear view in a while. But I was like, playing homage to her pops, because Rikishi was like, he's happy to see that his kids are carrying that on, like their version of his stink face, or them backing it up, like they're carrying it on to wrestling today. But that match was long, and not long like boring. It was just like excited for the girls, because I'm like, I can't remember the last time I've seen a match that long that hasn't been for women, that hasn't been the main event for the night. So I was excited about that. Then I was like, it's dancer versus gymnast. And Naomi flexible as hell, okay? For her to kick her leg all the way up like that. And so my hand is itching. Where is this money coming from, and when is it coming? So yeah, so they were doing their thing or whatever. Bailey looked worried on the side, and then she was like something like, no, Tiffany, or I can't remember what she said. Sorry, I think I skipped the match too. So she was like, you're done for, Tiffany, you're done for. And I said, you could tell that Bailey and I don't say Pam and Trinity, Bailey and Naomi are friends in real life, because I'm like, she wants her friend to win, and I'm here for it. And I'd have been so pissed if after that WrestleMania win, she loses again, because I'm like, that don't even make sense to me. Like, she already lost to Homegirl and on SmackDown before. I think, if I'm not mistaken, did she get pinned by? Was it Bailey or Tiffany? In the Elimination Chamber. I'm like, I keep having her lose to this girl. Okay? Not saying nothing against Tiff, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, y'all brought her back. Y'all probably promised her some stuff. I don't know what happens with the contracts and all that. That's none of my business, okay? But I'm just saying, we want to see her win. And I like the fact that she was like, everything I got, I earned. So then the qualifier was like, it's a qualified match for the title. I was confused, because I was like, when did it become a qualifying match for the title? I thought they was just fighting because of the beef. Excuse me. But then when Tiff came out, I was like, it do kind of make sense, but that's not how I think in my mind it was presented to me, or how I processed it. So yeah, but Naomi ended up winning. And then with them two in the ring, I was like, that's a lot of ass in the ring. Somebody was like, I love your comment. And I was like, I just call it like I see it, okay? With like Pam, you could see, with Bailey, you could see it from the front because she has hips, okay? So she got something back there. But Naomi, you got like a sneaker behind, okay? Like it sneak up on you, because from the front, because she don't really have hips, you don't know she got all that back there till she turned. And then you be like, God damn. But I'm glad she won. So then, I think Cameron Grimes and Bron Breakker fought. And I forgot about both of them. I forgot about Cameron because I haven't seen him since football season, because I know he's a Ravens fan. He was at a Ravens game. They showed him on X. or Twitter. I'm calling it Twitter. I don't like X. And then Bron, I be confused because I'm like, he was signed to Raw, but then he still be on NXT, and then like, so then they fought. They was like, he's gonna be a problem. I was like, he's already a problem for those that's been following him on NXT. But of course, Bron won, and I was like, now when he signs to the main roster and does like a PLE, like Elimination Chamber against like the big guys on Raw or like a Bobby Lashley or something, that's gonna be an interesting match. But he's gonna be a problem because not only is he big, he's fast as hell. Okay, like super fast. I can't wait for whenever that happens. Like that's what I'm anticipating from him because he's phenomenal. And then what else happened? I'm trying to think of everything. Oh, and I was saying that's how you do a smash match. Okay. So someone was like, we need more smash matches where we showcase like a larger than life talent. And they're smashing 4 and 5 people and they're winning to show their power. And I was countering like, I don't think so. And I said that because I was like, we have a person or wrestlers fight have these 2-minute or 1.5-minute matches against up and coming talent or people like that are in the college scene trying to get up or whatever, or to be out, whatever. And then they win these smash matches, but then when they get to a PLE, they lose every match. Like that doesn't make sense. I was like, so why have a short match to show your power and your strength, and then go to every PLE you're in or every match outside of that you're in, you lose. Like, so someone like, yeah, it's flaws to it, but if it's done right, it's done right. So I will say that tonight and Monday was done right. Like with Jade versus Chelsea and with Bron versus Cameron was done right. Not only because it was 1v1 and it was more than, well, not Jade's, hers was like a minute and a half because her music, she comes out there like real melodic and slow. Sometimes she takes her time, but like I think each match still might have been under 3 minutes at most. But I'm like, it works because it's people we know that's fighting, people we know or heard of, like, and it fits. Okay, like we know Cameron enough to know that he's a good wrestler, but the match also makes sense because we'd be like, if you think about it, you'd be like, do you think Cameron can beat Bron in a wrestling match for real? Like it makes sense. So I wasn't mad at either one. Like that was done right. The ones in the past 2 years that I've been watching, no. So then they showed, then got over Dave Fantasma and it's talking about the triple threat match coming up next with AJ. It was AJ, KO, and Rey. Okay. Didn't know this was the main event until Smackdown went off because that's why it's like it went by so fast. So before that, they showed Paul coming out of medic with Jimmy and asking was he okay, and then Tama coming up and said something was a message from the tribal chief, and then I think Corey talking about something, what tribal chief or something like that, and I said okay. I said he talking about Solo, but Tama is fine. I don't know, he is fine. Okay. And a lot of people are upset because they're like, you have most of the Bullet Club here. Like, why not put him on Raw? Or put him with like AJ in OC. And then have them go against the Judgment Day or have a beef with like Finn or something like that instead of putting him in the Bloodline. And yes, we know the situation with the Bloodline. Like they play cousins and their Polynesian lineage and stuff like that. Not mad at that situation. but it was like, somebody was like, it could have been done the other way. And I was like, I get that, but like I said, they're trying to put Solo on. Solo's coming out of his shell. And people probably be like, this has been done before. Or maybe it might happen in the future. You never know. So someone's like, I see the Usos coming back together, and it'll be Usos and Roman versus Tama Tonga and Solo. And I was like, I don't know if Homeboy gonna be there, but it might be, my opinion would be Jacob. Simone Werewolf will probably be in that equation somehow. Even if he's a part-timer and they just give him a nice contract and he's a part-timer. Like, he only does like Fridays and Saturdays or something like that. And then he goes home. Like, I don't know. But, yeah, so they showed AJ. AJ was basically like, he gonna make amends for losing at WrestleMania. Whoever steps in his way gonna get it. Period. So then they showed LWO, and he was asked, like, Ray was asked about the match, and him telling him Santos didn't do it, and it was like, oh, Santos is basically, and then Carlito talking about something, Santos is basically gonna lie, and I was like, so when are we gonna see Carlito turn on Ray? Is that gonna take a couple weeks for the build up and then it's get revealed? I'm here for it either way. Whether we gotta wait a couple months, if we gotta wait more than that, cause that'll be a nice PLE event type situation. And then if that happens and that all comes out, then will Santos come back to LWO, or will he still be on his own because you didn't believe him from jump? Which will make it more believable. Like, yeah, I forgive you after we found out it was Carlito, but I'm staying over here with Legado de Fantasma because the fact that we've been so close so fast while he was away, and then you take his word over mine, is a problem. Because when it first happened and Carlito blamed him, and I was like, I didn't see that at all. Like that. And I was thoroughly watching that match. I was like, that don't even make sense. And then Dragon Lee gets injured. Carlito's there. And then he finds out that the announcer person just said that Dragon Lee couldn't compete in WrestleMania. Carlito just saying something about, oh, I heard he can't. So were you outside the door, or where was you at when that happened? You know what I'm saying? So he was like, I don't believe it. I was like, yeah, y'all not gonna believe Santos because he's been the op. Like, you're not gonna believe the op, even if they telling the truth, because naturally your mind's like, okay. But I was like, Carlito the one, he the snake in that group, but okay. So then of course they show KO. KO talks to Byron. He wants to do the little camera situation. And then before that, it was Chelsea and Piper versus, and I love the Love on Top hat, sailor hat with the little, that's what I call it, because it reminds me of the Love on Top video Beyonce was in, with the little tutu ruche that Chelsea have, and I like that she has her all brown hair. Everybody going back to their root colors. Well, her and Scarlett, but the brown looks good on her. And Piper looked great too. And then they had to fight. Jade came out, and I was like, Jade always looks great, phenomenal. But it's something about her with the short wigs is everything. Okay? Even before she was I don't know, I was following her before I knew she wrestled. Okay? I ended up going down like a wormhole on IG. And then she showed like a throwback video of her with her short black hair. Like, short hair looks good on her, okay? Short hair is everything on her. So I love the short wig. Like, And then she got like the same type of shattered glass, I guess breaking the glass ceiling or whatever type gear, but it's like a purplish pink. And she come down there, and then they was like, who her partner? I said, Bianca. And as soon as that Bianca came out, of course, her little graphics, which I love, and then she come on a matching gear. So I said, did Bianca make her gear? I said, of course Bianca made her gear. I was like, when did she make her gear? Okay, like, was it the first night of WrestleMania was Saturday? Did she start making the one she got on Sunday? Like, or Monday, like sometime this week? Because she done basically had a week off. After, she could have really went home after Saturday, for real. And just been off the whole week. Well, no, she couldn't have, because her husband wrestled Sunday. But after that, they probably went home early Monday morning. And depending on what time you got to the room, it probably wasn't even no point of going to sleep, for real. Like, if you got home and got out of all that traffic on WrestleMania and stuff, say WrestleMania ended about 11:30 midnight, and it take you about 40 minutes to an hour to get out of the stadium area to get to the hotel. And then it takes you another 15-20 minutes to get to the hotel. So you at the hotel about 1:30. You catching a red eye and like 5. You might as well just get up, stay up, pack, and just head straight to the airport. Because there ain't no point in going to sleep. And I would have slept the whole day as soon as I got back. Or if you like me, you be so tired you can't sleep. Like physically exhausted. But I guess like that's the part of the brain that's like, okay. And then once you crash, that's it. You don't hear nothing. The house could be on fire and you don't hear a thing. Like, I'm normally a light sleeper because I guess when you become a mom, you just are wired like that. And I used to be like, dang, my mama hear everything when I was little because it's 4 of us. And I'd be like, how does she hear that? Like, she'll be like, cut the TV down. And she'll go to bed and we'll cut it off. And we'll cut it from like 10 to like 4. And she'll wake up and be like, it's still too loud. I'm like, how do you hear that? But I guess God gave us that ability after we got pregnant to have kids, so we'd be able to hear our child, like if they're crying, especially when they're first born, if they're hungry or whatever, we could nurse them or feed them or whatever. But that thing don't go away. Because my son is 10. And not unless I'm exhausted like that, like being up for a long period of time, I hear everything. Everything. Like even if I'm in a deep sleep, I can still hear. And then my brain, because he plays music in his room when he sleeps. I play music in his room. And when he sleeps, if it goes off, I automatically wake up as soon as it goes off. Not even 30 seconds. Like my brain knows. I don't know. My cousin said my head is always on a swivel. He said it's the DC in me. And then he said me eating sunflower seeds is the DC in me. And I just finished the bag too. But yeah, so her gear stuff was great. It was a good quick match. It kind of looked like she was struggling a little bit to pick Chelsea up when she was walking. Oh no, it was the kick. The kick was kind of weird or whatever. And then as soon as she got in there, the ring with Bianca, and she was bouncing, I said, now I see this only being a short period of time. I was like, because now that Bailey's on a face run, right? We got another face. I'm like, I know Jade to be a heel in AEW. So it's only a matter of time where something happens, a situation, or argument, where somebody gonna turn on somebody. And then there's like, this is a great tag team. And I was like, yeah, it's good. And I'm like, the fans want if we're gonna do tag teams, the fans want Naomi and Bianca. We've been wanting Naomi and Bianca 2-3 years as a tag team because they've been on each other's TikToks back then. Like, we gonna do that, and y'all talking about y'all pivoting to give the fans what y'all want, and that's why y'all had Cody versus Roman. Pivot and do that. Like, I don't mind Naomi having her title, Smackdown title run. Well, no, I see Bailey keeping it for a while. But if you gonna get, and then I be like, it'll be Bianca's first main roster tag team title. Has she even gotten a tag? I think she's gotten an NXT tag team title. I think. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember. I'd be like, it'll be New York. Then it could be the glowiest women or something like that. Or maybe EST and Glow. I don't know how. It'll be the glowiest, but then it'll be like, glowiest what? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, with Naomi and Lana, it was the ravishing glow. And then with Sasha and Naomi, it was the bossing glow. So I'm like, what would Bianca and Naomi be? It'd be glowiest? I don't know. What is happening? But yeah, so then they end up, so then with the KO thing, so KO was like, told Byron, was like, can I get the mic? I want them to follow me, how they follow him. And I start laughing because I'm like, that's the dry humor. And I was like, this is why he's one of my current faves. So I'm like, not only is he versatile, but I'm like, the dry humor he has is cracking me up. From the time of him telling him they need to go to a broom closet, to the cameras following him, to after he gets out into the ring and he talks trash about AJ and Ray and his son and stuff. After they come back from commercial, he's like, hurry up. I've been waiting here literally for minutes. I was like, what? Okay. But then when he picked up that title belt, it threw me off. Because my first thought was, why he got that Cincinnati Bengals belt and they in Detroit? Like, that's honestly my first thought. Legit forgot it was baseball season and then selling baseball belts. Because when I looked at it and it was like the Detroit Tigers, and I was like, oh, my brain automatically went to NFL. And then I was like, you know, it'd be dope. I don't know if they in the works of doing this. Is an NBA belt title. Because I'm like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will buy a Pistons title belt from WWE. I'm pretty sure of it. If not, I can't remember if Detroit has a hockey team. They should. It's cold as hell up there. I can't remember. I know Chicago has the Blackhawks. I don't remember if Detroit has one. And I only know about the Blackhawks because I lived in Nashville. And Nashville and Predators game. Nashville Predators game versus Blackhawks game is a huge deal. Like, the Bridgestone be sold out. I don't know how deep that rivalry goes. Okay. That thing be deep. In Chicago and Nashville are 8 hours from each other. People drive from Chicago to Nashville. Like, it is crazy. Okay. Like that. And I only know a little bit about hockey because my mom is an avid hockey fan. Like, been my whole life. Like, she is down for the Caps. She loves the Redskins or the Commanders, whatever she say. But she watches every hockey game. You know how people watch sports and gets hoarse watching games? That's my mama with hockey. Okay. And she's been to hockey games live. When she lived here in North Carolina, she went to the Canes game. She's like, I'm rooting for them because they're here. But when the Canes played the Caps, she went. Tampa Bay, she down there, what they call the Lightning. They play the Caps or whatever, like in the playoffs. She's going. I was like, you just need to go to the NHL All-Star game. That's all you missing right now at this point. But yeah, I thought that was a belt. So that match ended up being really, really, really good. And I was like, I hope. Like I said, I didn't remember it was the last match. So I was like, I hope they keep in time in this match. Because I was like, with Hh's resiliency and KO's resiliency, this match is going on for a while. Okay? They was all getting each other. Like, one was getting one, the other one was getting another one. AJ finally put his hands up with the gloves because he ain't done that in a while. His new song got, I finally heard the words to it because I couldn't really hear it at WrestleMania. It got hip-hop, kind of, like he had the old song, but it got a lot of alternative rock undertones, which I like too, so I ain't mad at it. Okay? It did the graphics for Rey. And then, like, AJ jumped over the barricade where the audience was, came back. KO cannonballed him. Rey jumped off the ropes to get to hit KO. And I was like, when did he get on the ropes? Like, he just got knocked out. Then they came back. They was fighting. And AJ, what did AJ do? I think Rey has 619 AJ. And then KO has stunned Rey. And then he was about to, I think, Swanton bomb AJ. And AJ had his knees up. So I was like, oh, snap. So then AJ got up and did, dang, I can't think of his move. And I was saying it earlier. The avalanche, what was it? The avalanche AJ on him and ended up winning. That was the end of it. And then I was like, it's about to be LA versus AJ again. I was like, this is about to be like, what, part 2, part 3? So whoever wins gets to fight, excuse me, is it Cody? Cody for the title. So now Cody got the Universal Championship title. He's going to be on Smackdown now, huh? I just thought about that. He got the Smackdown title. So that means Sami's staying on Raw. Logan is a free agent, but he's only gonna be on SmackDown. Of course, Priest is staying on Raw. But they've been on there for almost 2-3 years. That's gonna be interesting. And then it was something else. And I'm gonna probably remember it when I get to it. Oh, so then they had mentioned something about the draft. So I was like, are we not having a draft? Because I was like, normally we have it like a week or 2 before WrestleMania, and then they were like, everybody switches over after Backlash or after the premiere. So when she said something about when Bron came out, he was like, he's qualifying for the blue brand to be on the draft. And I was like, oh, so we are having a draft. Then they turned to the commercial, and I was like, so it's the end of April. And I was like, that honestly makes better sense, because if the premiere for the new year is in May, then it makes sense to have the draft a week before, a week or 2 before, and then switch them over. Like, why have a draft 2 months ahead of time and then switch them over? Because then that kind of gives away who's going to win, who's going to be where. You know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of gave it away. And then it's stupid to have it that early on. Like, it's not like they have to go on a certain team, like when you play like basketball or something and you have to practice with a team. Each person is their own thing, even if they're part of a faction or a tag team. Like, they have to stay, trained up, stay whatever. So they don't need all that extra time. It was yeah, so that kind of threw me for a little bit. Also, so I was like, I had watched Raw, right? So I watch, like I tell y'all, I don't have cable. I have all the streaming services. So I watched Raw on Hulu. Raw did good this time because everything that I wanted to see was on there. I will say, because Cody and The Rock's promo was long, on top of Triple H and Cody having an exchange, I missed one of the matches that I wanted to see. and that was Shinsuke versus Dragonuv, which I like Shinsuke because he's crazy as hell. Okay. And Dragonuv is one of my favorites in NXT. Like, I like him. So I was upset that I missed that match. Like, I had to catch the highlights on the top 10 things of Raw that day. Saw Roxanne versus Indi. Love Roxanne. She's one of my favorites on NXT too. Let me tell you something. Indi's getting tired of Candice. She getting tired of her. It's only a matter of time before Candice gets upset and either attacks Indi or Indi. Something's going to transpire between them two. And I'm waiting to see that happen. So I was glad to see it when I watched it on TV. Also, I liked Candice's wig on her. Like, she looked nice. That's when I saw the squash match, of course. And then I saw Imperium trying to come out here. And no, before that, before that they was doing the numbers and they was like, we're sold out 20 something thousand. So I was like, did they add more chairs? Because I was like, how on Friday they was at 19 plus thousand, and then it's Monday they in the same venue and 20 plus thousand. So then I looked, like Triple H had confirmed that he was like, basically adding more chairs. He was like, we gotta go bootleg with the monitors. There was literally TVs on stands, and everybody else had to watch at the top thing. And he was like, because we added more chairs or whatever. And he showed the reel of Cody and his journey and stuff like that. And they even added bits of like him leaving. I think they showed him winning like TNA ring or something like that. But whoever in production picked out Andre Day's Rise Up, Chef's Kiss, that was the perfect song for that highlight that he did, like that they showed. And he was tearing up. And when didn't they show his dad hold the title? See, as emotional as I get, I told you I'm such an empath. That's why I couldn't watch, like when they show his face, they show him like he teared up a little bit or cried a little bit. I had to look away because I was gonna start crying. But as soon as they would have shown my dad, if it was me, and I know how proud of him, how proud of me he would have been, and how much I missed him, I would have lost it. Okay, I'd have been bawling out my eyes, ugly crying. I wouldn't have been able to finish my promo after that. Like, how do you finish? Like, that man is a professional, okay? Because the way I'm set up, we would have had to cut to commercial or just go ahead and go about me having the conversation with The Rock would have never happened. So then he showed like The Rock come out. Rock ain't letting go of that belt. He wanted to exchange belts. He's talking about your chapter, my chapter. It's just begun. I said, oh snap. So then I'm like, so people's like WrestleMania 41. And I was like, it might not be WrestleMania 41. It could be SummerSlam. Like that WrestleMania for Cody and Rock is too far out. Rock got a lot of stuff to do. He's in the middle of shooting movies and stuff like that. And I feel like the story is going to progress even more. That if The Rock ends up being at the next WrestleMania, it would truly be him versus Roman type situation. If that's what they'll make this year's WrestleMania that they wanted for next year. I don't know who's going to do the bid, and people are talking about, oh, they normally announce it by now. I don't know what they're talking about, because as far as I remember, we didn't know where WrestleMania was going to be at, I think, until like October, November of last year, where it was going to be at. Like, they knew basically what they wanted as far as like vision boards and stories, but probably not the like, if they knew the location, they didn't tell us. So he's like, we knew. Somebody's like, we knew last year it was going to be in Philly last year. And I was like, I don't remember us knowing that early after the last year's WrestleMania that it was going to be in Philly next year. Like, it's not like All-Star Game where you can determine where the next 4 All-Star games are going to be at. Like, I don't I don't know. Maybe I'm the one that's tripping. Because sometimes I get my sense of time messed up. Because a lot of times my days run together. Because I be so busy. And then yeah. So for me, I might think it's the other day. And it could have been like 3 months ago. And then time is moving fast. Because we already in April. Like Christmas was 2 weeks ago. No. Valentine's Day was literally 2 weeks ago. Blinked up, it's April. Like, this is crazy. The first half of the year has never moved this fast for me in my life. Like, and I'm not the only person. Like, normally, when we get to, like, January through March is normally slow. Because people still transitioning out the new, it's spring, whatever. Then it picks up in April, and then it goes super. Then once September hit, it go by super fast. But normally it's like a nice pace between April and September. But these first 4 months, boy. So they exchanged belts or whatever. I was like, don't trust it. He trying to get you. So yeah. So after that, there was like basically it's like a code thing. Like he want to hold it because I guess he want to feel like, okay, what's gonna feel like when I come back and win it. But I'm like, man, you ain't coming back to win that. Okay. So then after that, that's what I was thinking. So then he leaves. Then he was like, Samantha, you know what I was gonna do? So Samantha, they show Samantha. First of all, Samantha's hair looks phenomenal. Look way better than mine. I already told y'all about my hair situation. Don't come for me. Look way better than mine. And then yeah, so when he said her name, I thought he was gonna announce the haters that she was accumulating on social media about her being emotional about his win and Roman's loss. Everybody was emotional that weekend. Like everybody. And I'm saying that because when I just watched like a glimpse of Damien getting the belt, he was like, I cried when Cody, who was it? They said they cried when Drew won. He cried when you tagged it in. So he was like, we're so happy for you. And then I was watching a part of it, and him and Cody embraced, and he was like, I'm happy for you. And Damien was like, go get yours now. And then Bailey wished him, said was happy. And he was like, all right, it's your time now. And she was like, don't make me cry. And all that other stuff. And then, so I was like, it's just emotional. And then like watching circulate around the internet how Logan was watching it, Logan Paul from the suite. And I said, now see, if it was me, I'd be in the suite too. So I'm not trying to be cold. But him watching the final match and freaking out during the match. And I was like, it's so good to see. And I know I mentioned this before, I think. Wrestlers looking on at matches as fans. Like they didn't. I was like he didn't have a match earlier that day and retain his title. But then I was like, he also mentioned in one of his interviews that for him, when he's in the ring, he blacks out or has like an out-of-body experience. So he watches it back. Because people like, that dude is doing pretty good. And he was like, I forget it's me. Like, it goes by so fast. And it's so surreal that you can't believe it's you, but it's you. So then for him watching and him freaking out like the wrestling guys, I was like, I love that. Like, that was so people were thanking Triple H, and he was like, he came out to thank us. And then people was thanking Roman, people was thanking Cody. And Seth, I don't know how long Seth is going to be out, but however long Seth decides to be out, I hope they allow it, because he was the MVP of WrestleMania weekend. I don't care what nobody say. I don't even care if he lost the title. Just like Damien said in the press conference, he was like, he called us the workers title. He was like, yeah, he hopes to basically continue the legacy, like keep it as prestigious as it is. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm trying to figure out what happened. You had the Jade squash match. You had the thing with him and Triple H and The Rock. Then you had Shinsuke and Dragonuv, which I forgot about. Yeah, then you had the Indi versus Roxanne match, and my girl Roxanne is a champion again. And I watched when she first became champion from after Mandy had left. And then I think passed out or something in the ring, and she had to leave. And the way Booker T had gotten up, like when she did that, and I said that's that dad response right there. I was like, because he basically trained her and stuff like that, and she's so young, he probably looked at her like a daughter figure. So like his immediate response to get up off the announcement table, and I was like, yeah. So for her to get it back, 2 years later is cool. Like Tiffany held it down when she had it. I ain't gonna hold you. But like Roxanne, I wanted her to get it back. And then yeah, for them to have that match, that was crazy because Candace, she was, and he told Candace, like, I told you, I don't need help. And I'm like, yeah, they about to start beefing. So I'm like, she keep coming ringside for you, and you keep telling her, and she doing it anyway. So somebody about to get tired of somebody. Roxanne ended up winning that match. And then I think it was Sami had came out and gave his gratitude and stuff like that. And in the middle of him having a conversation, Imperium came out, and Imperium came out to try to antagonize him or whatever. Giovanni got some good teeth. It's a lot of people in WWE that got good teeth. Whether you pay for them or you got braces coming up, okay, I say if it make you happy, go ahead and do it. And just don't go overboard, because then then it becomes like a bad addiction. Like I was watching something, I think this woman on Botched, and I used to watch Botched religiously, and she had like 30 something surgeries because she wanted to look like a Barbie, and she wanted to be perfect. And the thing about humanity is there's no one perfect. So you have to find the beauty in imperfections. But when they showed her before picture, before all the surgeries, I was in awe. Like she was so gorgeous. Now, oh, she looked bad. She looked real bad. And I was like, that's a self-esteem and stuff issue. I don't know what transpired in her life for her to feel like, or what somebody told her for her to feel like she's not perfect or she doesn't fit in. But a lot of times, that's why you got to watch what you say to people, especially when someone is especially kids and teenagers, because they don't have the a lot of time mental capacity to block that out. You know what I'm saying? When you get older, when you start hearing stuff and you get older, you done dealt with some things. So you know, okay, I know how to block it out. You have self-love for yourself, whether you had to discover it on your own or you woke up every day and your parents told them they love you, they're proud of you, whether you make mistakes or not. You're perfect to them. God made you perfectly. You know what I'm saying? You're going to find your people. Like you might seem weird or feel like you're weird and stuff in this setting right here. But these aren't your people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like these people are here to teach you a lesson or you to teach them a lesson or in life, you know, because you're supposed to learn from people every day, whether it's good or bad. Whether they do something good or bad, you learn whether something not to do or try, you know, or what to do. So these are just people I work with. These people I go to school with. Whatever. These aren't my people. Like I might not find my people, solid people, my 4 lifers until I get adult age. And then I just find people to help carry me along the way. But people that don't have that growing up and then finally get money and decide that surgery is the way, and it's dangerous. Like, because you never know. Not against surgery or anything, because when I get some money, I'm getting some. Like, I have a cataract. I can't see for nothing. But like, self-love. That's all. But and he got some good teeth. He smiled and all that, and I was like, okay. Just like when they showed Jimmy when he smiled, I was like, he had a nice smile. I was like, he got some good teeth. I was like, I love all people that smile that got good teeth. Jade was one of them, and she mentioned it and actually showed on social media. Someone was like, Natty's boobs and got bigger. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, she could have got another surgery and they gotten bigger. I was like, but then too, she's been working out real heavy and losing a lot of weight. So it could be just that the rest of her body's thinner and then the size of her boobs didn't shrink. No, because she has a surgery, so could be that. But like, they came out to try to antagonize him, and then Chad comes out. So then that ends up being a tag match, which ends up, I love the fact that at the end of the match, Sami hit him with the haluva kick, and then he tagged Chad to close out the deal. And then Chad did that bridge thing and pinned him. First of all, I know it's a move that Kurt used to do, and I used to could do it when I was little, but it's no way in hell I could do that today. But men do stuff without a care in the world. My mom used to tell me that, because she like, they just be randomly learning how to backflip just by backflipping in the street. No remorse for if they fall, they can break their neck. Like, if the backflip go wrong, they just jump like, I could do that. Like, boys have no sense of fear in certain areas when it comes to stuff like that. And that's why they need partners in women, because some of the stuff y'all do that be dangerous or stupid, you need someone to tell you, like, maybe you need to think about doing that. Or chill the hell out before you be in a whole cast like Homeboy from Grown Ups when they was at the water park and he had his arms and stuff up like this. I forgot his name. I should rewatch that movie. But yeah, so they end up winning. He ended up winning. So now it's gonna be Chad versus Sami for the IC title next week. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So Nick had showed A Town Down Under. That's what I was gonna say. And I was like, I love them as heels. Because the arrogance is like, it's crazy. They're so arrogant, they're delusional. Them as heels. Because they talking about Lil Wayne came to see us, Snoop Dogg came to see us, even Drew Barrymore came to see us. And I was like, wait, what? Then he was like, we 2-0. Racing was like, you 2-0 in this thing for WrestleMania. We undefeated. And then they was like, every time I go to WrestleMania, I'm undefeated. I have a title. Da, 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 da. And I was like, y'all shouldn't say that now. Because last time y'all said y'all was 2-0 undefeated, almost every match after that, y'all done lost. Okay. So then they showed, who they showed? They showed Newcastle Republic and the Street Profits watching them. And Nick was like, that's all right. He was like, I'm going to find someone for them to what's the name soon. And I was like, ooh, that's going to be good. That's going to be good. So then they showed the ceremony, I think, of the Judgment Day. Yeah, so I was like, where are the graphics at? Like, what is happening today? So they showed all of them, and then they introduced Rhea. And Rhea came out. Then I think they introduced Damien. Damien came out in a red suit, but she looks good in the red suit. and he got his regular hair back. And they were saying all rise for what he call themselves, the Terrible Twins or the Terror Twins. And I was like, when did they become that? Have they always been that? Or I haven't heard them say that in a while, if they have been. And I was like, I'm not mad at it. So then he was like, you should all rise for the Judgment Day. And here come R-Truth. And he in the back talking about I brought it back home. And then talking about I know we a little funny about adding people to the group. And my first thought in my mind was him talking about JD. And then he was like, but I'm not in this thing alone. So then Miz come out and was like, I don't want to be part of the Judgment Day. Or whatever. So then they talking about, I think they jumped Miz and Truth after he was like, we got someone else, but you can't see him. So everybody talking about Cena, whatever. Which we knew. But still. So Miz was like, is you talking about somebody you can't see? He said, I want to see my partner. He said, is it imaginary person like Little Jimmy? And I said, who the hell is Little Jimmy? I was like, I know who Tom and Nick is, but who is that? So right in the middle of that match, Cena comes out and throws his hat and stuff like that. And I was like, Cena lost weight because his workout routine has changed. He said he doesn't lift as much anymore. He's more into like yoga and stuff now. I'm like, he's still a big dude. But Cole had asked Pat, was like, did you know he was coming? He was on your show earlier. He was like, no. He's like, he told me he's working on movies and other stuff. He said, but I didn't know he was coming. I was like, y'all know Cena does at least one match a year. I said, I guess this is one match. Because he ain't had one since November, right? And at Crown Jewel. So, yeah, because technically the one at WrestleMania don't count. Like, he was a surprise guest. He wasn't in the match. So, and then Pat and Cole was like during the commercial break, y'all didn't see it, but the Pat ran out of here and I was like, yeah, I had to go to the back before I peed on myself. So he was like, I've been with you since Thursday, Cole, and I was like, we closer than the family. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, that's true. I was like, I get it, because you've been like, for somebody like me that went to college, when you stay with someone like a group of people in the same dorm, y'all might not specifically be roommates specifically, but y'all hang together all the time. Like, me and my friends had a group of people. We used to meet in the third floor living room, and if we pull all-nighters to go to breakfast at 7 a.m., we'd just be in there playing cards. Just bored, like playing to 1,000, playing spades. To 1,000, or like chilling out, listening to music, and while we could see the sun come out, we could see people like getting up for that 8 a.m. class and stuff like that. So like, you get to know people, the ins and outs, when they look like, when they ugly, waking up in the morning, when they got an attitude, when they don't got an attitude, when they, you know them more than, that becomes your family literally, because you know them and see them more than you see your family. Like, so, but I know Pat probably couldn't wait to get home. I know if it was me, I'd be ready to go home. So then, yeah, after that, I'm trying to think of what else happened. I know it was a 4-way contender match. No, yeah. So then after that, I think it was a 4-way contender match with trying to think of everything, if I remember everything. 4-way contender match with Ricochet, Bronson, Drew, and Jay. And Drew was the first person that came out in his graphics and all that. Then he does cuts a promo for like 3 minutes. So I was like, is this unscripted or was this planned? Because in the middle of him talking, Jay comes out. So you see, I saw Jay's arm. And I said, oh, his arm taped up. I was like, he got like a sleeve type situation. So when Jay comes out, Pat starts doing the heat wave. Cole's talking about sit down, sit down. He's like, sit down. He said, Drew threw the mic at you, sit down. You know, Drew's around the ring throwing chairs because he pissed. He was like, sit down. He said, he mad. He said, oh my God. He's like, I was scared for my life because I was eating and I almost died. I was like, Cole told you to sit down. You don't listen. But like homegirl said on social media, you don't listen. That video is hilarious because I said a lot of people's like, I got PTSD. She sound like my dudes. Like, she sound like my mama. That video is hilarious. But she yeah, so he come out and then Bronson comes out. And I was like, how long has Bronson had them tats on his pecs? Has he always had them tats on his pecs? Because I was like, I don't remember. I don't be paying attention. So then after that, someone's like, the highlight reel, I think Pat called him the highlight reel, it's coming out. And I was like, Ricochet is literally, could be an action star / Power Ranger. And we wouldn't even know it. The way he moved. Because some of that stuff is incredible and impossible as hell. So, they all go at it or whatever. And I think Cole was like, this is 4 different people with 4 contrasting styles. And I was like, this is why it's such a good match, because you have like a powerhouse. You have someone that's a technician. You have a striker. You know, you have a high flyer, basically. And so you never know who's going to win, because when you think someone's going to win, someone taps out. So I thought it was going to be Ricochet or I wanted to be Ricochet or Bronson. Only reason why I said that is because Drew done had 700 times to try to get this title. I think he done fought Seth 3 times for it, and then fought him again at WrestleMania, and then you had it for 5 minutes. Like, you, and I was like, he out of pocket, because he the go. Speaking of, in his promo, he's like, I only had it for 5 minutes and 42 or 47 seconds, and people was laughing and booing. He was like, I lasted for 5 minutes longer than y'all do in bed. And I was like, this heel Drew is hilarious. Like, I am here for it. Okay. So then when he was like, in bondage Undertaker, I was like, he need to get off social media. He needs to get off social media. Because the only way you know that is if you've been on Twitter. Like, get him off of social media. Okay. I was like, why is he calling Priest that? And that's right when Jay had interrupted. So then I was like, I don't know if it would be Jay. And I wasn't like not rooting for him, but I was like, he was the last person outside of Drew to last hold the title. Even though it's a tag team title, he had one about 6 months ago. So in my mind, it was gonna be Ricochet or Bronson. Because them two keep getting to like the edge of the envelope or the edge of the door and not be able to go through. I'm like, in due time, like, it's gonna happen eventually. Okay. But then when Jay took off his jacket, I said, oh, he all the way taped up. And he was like, for those who don't know, they was like, because at first when I saw the arm, I was like, oh, he probably went in sideways when he fell down that ramp and put his brother through the table. So when he went down, and I saw him on the bump the next day. And he was talking about how he was still feeling it today. Now his son is famous and doesn't want to go home. He's ready to go home. So I'm like, if Jay is taped up like that, then what does Jimmy look like? Because Jimmy looked like he got most of the table. Or maybe I need to go back and look, because I think I was like, Jay looked like he fell on his side and fell on Jimmy. So I don't know, dog. Like, but yeah, okay. So before that, we see somebody attack Rhea. So then when they attack Rhea, it was Liv. I said, that's my girl. Like, I love Rhea. But Liv is my girl, okay? Wild card. Like, her and Bianca are my girls, okay? And I'm, like, here for it. So, I was... Excuse me. I was here for it because I'm like, it's going to be a matter of time before we get that Rhea versus Liv situation. I think it got interrupted the last time they fought. The only thing I see outside of that is maybe Rhea and Becky getting another match, because Becky did have the strep or the flu or whatever she had, and she was on her flu game like Michael Jordan. I just hope that when she had that match, like I said, she was on antibiotics, but I would say she was doing excellent to be in the condition she was in. But to me, Rhea versus Charlotte still was a better match. I feel like if Becky was 100%, it would be right up there with her. But I'm going to tell you something about these 4 horsewomen. They're going to pull a good match out of you, okay? If the match is not good when you fight them, it's not them. I'm letting you know that now. You might got to work on you and how you perform in the ring, or the crowd sucks. It's one of the two. And that's facts. That's facts. Because I think when Charlotte had fought Asuka, that was a pretty good match on SmackDown. And the crowd was just, and I was like, what is wrong? What do be wrong with y'all? And then y'all be wanting to sit in the front and don't have no interaction. Like, why the hell be up front just to say you was up front? Like, if I'm at any sporting event, any entertainment event, I'm getting my whole life, especially if I'm close to the front. The closer you are to the front, that means you spent more money. You need to be yelling more, okay? And also, I forgot, who was it? Oh yeah, and then the crowd, Philly crowd, has to be the rowdiest crowd in the country. And I said that before. I got family from Philly. Like, growing up, half my family's from the DMV, DC area. The other half is from Philly. I got a couple in North Carolina here. But, and my parents had moved to Florida not too long ago. But they are the rowdiest crowd. They will get out and fight you, okay? It don't matter if it's something as simple as, what's the easiest sport? I don't know. I don't know what's like a non-combat sport. They could be watching ballet, okay? It's going to be ignorant. I'm just saying. And they will fight you, okay? Like, people always say, oh, New York crowd. No. New York might come second. Nothing's like a Philly crowd. I'm trying to tell y'all. Philly crowd is ruthless, okay? It's the reason. Y'all seen it. Y'all seen, was it 2001, the NBA final game, and it was the 76ers versus the Lakers, and the Destiny Child came out, and one of them had on a Lakers jersey dress, and I think Beyonce had a combination of both, and I think it was Kelly had a Lakers jersey dress on, and Michelle had on a 76 jersey dress, and the crowd was so loud booing, I think they was throwing stuff at them. Like, the Philly crowd be out of control, okay? So, in Raw, they was out of control at Raw. That's what I was like. And then I was like, who is starting these chants? Because when he said, I'm about to leave, Rock was like, I'm about to leave. They talking, nah, 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 hey, 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 goodbye. And I said, not them singing that song. And my mind went straight to Remember the Titans. Because that's, now when I hear that song, that's all I think of. But when then they start clapping out, when they switched up, this is awkward. And then they did the You Can't See Me early. Because Pat was like, the crowd a little early. That's okay. But then it's also Pat and Cole be egging on situations. Talking about some, R-Truth here with his hero that he grew up with. And he about to do, they doing a 15 knuckle shuckle and attitude. I was like, why do y'all keep egging this man? Or if we know it's not. But then when they get to the match, okay, So everybody does it, and I don't know. Ricochet is skilled, okay? Because Ricochet can flip off anybody. You could be 4'2", or you could be 7'11". I was gonna say 7'12". That's 8 feet, and he'll find a way to flip off of you. Then when Drew was outside the ring and hit Bronson, Bronson's smooth transition put himself on the table. And then they was fighting. Jade got knocked out the ring. Ricochet jumped off of the ring. First of all them times at the countout, so I think Drew had stopped it one time. I think Bronson had stopped it one time. I think Jay stopped it twice. So one thing Jay gonna do, if nothing else, is break up a count out almost to the last second. Okay, he's been doing that with Roman and Jimmy for a while. But then when Ricochet was about to talk about some, and I said, that's not going to end well. I said, because he not, so when he flipped on the table. Bronson hit his chest, so of course it hurt. But then, like, part of his stomach, the edge of his stomach, Rick, in his head bounced and Ricochet off, ironically. But a lot of his stomach had caught that, and he over there in the corner. And I was like, oh, I know that hurt. So then it was like, this is the Spanish announcement saying, when I said, are we having them every week? Like, I'm not mad at it, you know what I'm saying? I was like, we should have them every week. Now since we got these Bergers and all these sponsors and these big deals, there should be Spanish commentators every week next to Wade and Corey or Pat and Cole. And I was, because the majority of this country speaks Spanish. Okay, the second language or the first language, I can't remember. I think it's more Hispanic people here. People that have Spanish origins here than anybody else. So they should already have that. Like, they shouldn't have to watch wrestling and look at captions or get the translate. Because that, if I gotta read captions while I'm trying to watch, I'm not really watching for real. Like, y'all might as well do that. I was like, I got the money. Y'all can hire 2 more people. Like, go ahead and make that an every week thing. Okay, so they don't have to go like on Telemundo and then hear it translated, or what's the Spectrum got, like certain channels they have in English, and then you could get, I think, like NBC Spanish or something like that with the package. Like, let them be able to watch it. You know, just saying, like, make it easier for viewers. If we doing that, okay, because you got a lot of Luche people in there. We have 2 big factions on WWE, with Legado de Fantasma and LWO, and then with the Judgment Day, you got Priest, you got Dominic, you got Finn, who understands and speaks Spanish because his wife is Spanish. You got Dre, because y'all know I can't say his name right. Like, you got a lot of people of Spanish heritage, Latino heritage in WWE. Go ahead, and if y'all ain't hired them, I know y'all have a Spanish broadcaster lady, because I saw her on Instagram, which I just found out, which is excellent. But go ahead and hire them if they weren't there before. Keep them full time. If they've been there the whole time, I ain't never seen them except for at PLEs. So, and I've been to live shows, and I only see one table always set up, so that would be news to me. But yeah, so Jay got knocked off. I think, who did he frog splash? He splashed, I want to say he splashed Bronson. Or was it Drew? And won. So my thought was, this is before I watched Smackdown today. My thought was, he gonna go for that title and his brother's gonna break it up, Jimmy. Or it's not his time yet. They're gonna let Damien have it for a little bit. But now seeing Smackdown, it wouldn't even be Jimmy that break it up. To me, it'd be Solo and Tama. But then I was like, okay, so now Jimmy got attacked. So now you got 1 or 2 options. You can either fall in line and join the new tribal chief or whatever he calls the problem. You can follow Solo. Or you can go on your little solo run like your brother did, and then you make amends with people on like Smackdown and stuff, and then y'all come back together. But that'd be crazy because then they would end up being a face tag team if they did come back together. But then I was like, who would be a heel outside of SWO, Cruz and Joaquin, my faces, and Gato de Fantasma AOP are heels, I think, and A Town Down Under as a heel. Newcastle Republic, I put them in the middle because I don't know. Like, they seem like they're good guys, but they also seem like Pete seemed like he'll mess you up. I don't know. They were excited because Sheamus is coming back. I don't know where he's been, hiatus, injury, whatever, but it's been like 7 months and they announced him coming back. So I was like, when is he coming back? But that's all I remember. I'm about to get ready to go back to sleep. I need to eat something, and I don't like eating this late at night. You have to make me like a salad or something that's filling, but it's not a lot on me. Yeah. Y'all be safe. Y'all be good. You see me next week. I will have my hair done because today's been a day. Love y'all. Bye.